Someone had requested for me to make a video about the witch class, and the reason why I hadn't made it before is because it was not available on consoles. Now it is available on consoles, so now we can start building the witch class. If you go to Mod Manager, PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox as well, you go to the subclasses in here, I think, and you will see the witch class right here. So what is the witch class? Think of this guy or this gal or whatever that you're going to be building it for. Think of it like, well, it revolves, it's very well made because it revolves on the overall idea of the folklore and the mythology of a witch. You use natural magic. There's like no sexual nor anything like that on this. At least I haven't seen anything, and there's not like pact with the devil nor anything like that. But it revolves around the usage of natural magic. So intelligence, it is going to be your main stat. Think of it like a in-between mix between a druid and a mage, a wizard as well, because she's very intelligent, but she also relies quite a lot on the natural magic. A little word from today's sponsor, from the channel Factor75. You know, growing up it's difficult. You start noticing that we are not teenagers anymore, and we start caring a little bit more and more about healthy diets, the amount of proteins, carbs that we eat, and the portions as well. And insurance nowadays is really expensive. Who has to pay nutritionists to guide us through that? And even if we do, we end up not eating as tasty as we would like. Factor 75 precisely helps with that. They bring pre-chefed cooked meals to the table that you can prepare and serve in the table in 2 minutes. Not only are they nutritious, but they also help with time managing, since you don't have to cook anything yourself at all, and it saves you time from going to the grocery store since everything is packed and ready. It has helped me maintain my schedule on my working shifts. And they actually taste how they look. You have all that tasty nutrient goodness with the Factor 75, and as you're caring for your health, you're also caring for your wallet, since its prices are really good. And in that regard, you can get 50% of your first Factors box and 20% off your next month of orders using the link and if you clicked in the video description or scan the QR code with your phone. Back to the video. So like always, I'm going to guide you through the ability scores that you should have on the first, second, and third act of the game based on what I said that we are going to be using. On the first act of the game, these are going to be your ability scores. Dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence. Dexterity gives you a little bit of armor class. Constitution allows you to sustain concentration, which is going to be a main key element of this character right here. Intelligence is your main spell casting ability modifier, and yeah, that's pretty much your main stat. On the second act of the game, you're going to downgrade Dexterity all the way to 0 because we're going to be using the Gloves of Dexterity. At this point, you can raise your saving throws on the rest of the stats that you have right here for your character to be looking something like this. You're still going to have 18 Dexterity because of the Gloves of Dexterity. On the third act of the game, you're still going to be using the Gloves of Dexterity, and you're also going to be using the Amulet of Constitution to sustain concentration, meaning that at this point, you can raise your ability scores even much more, and you can decide which ones are more important to you, so you can decide how are you or are you not going to level up your character. Just have in mind that you're going to have 14, 14, 14, and 16, and these two guys right here, they are not going to be important. Our class, of course, is the witch in here. I want to talk to you a little bit about the spells because I'm going to run you through what is it that you should be taking, the most important spells that you're going to be taking as you level up, because as you level up, you're going to get native spells from the class, and some of the spells that you have with this class, they cannot be upcasted. If you're going to be using something different, just have in mind that never, ever, at least for this build specifically, do not take spells that require concentration, because our concentration is always going to be on darkness. The main first spell that you're going to be taking, of course, is going to be the Mage Armor. This is going to set your armor class to 13 plus your dexterity, so very, very much important to have right here. Now, right here for this character that I have right here, because of the race and the race features, you have Civil Militia. This gives you proficiency with light armor and shields, and we're going to be using shields with this character. If you cannot use shields, then that's probably because you don't have the Civil Militia, which is why you don't have like the advantage to be able to use shields with that one class. Level 2, you get the chance to choose your subclass. With this mod, we have the Herbalist, the Frost Witch, and the Hex Witch, and finally the Witch Blade. I think that we're going to be building the Witch Blade next, but for now we're going to be sticking to the Frost Witch. We're going to be making a Frost Witch. The class passives, think of this guy like similar to what you have with the Sorcerer, but instead right here we have them with the Witch. I am going to be fairly honest with you, I don't really use these guys that much. Maybe the extended spell, so that we can extend our darkness that we're going to be using quite a little bit more. But other than that, there's not much that you're going to be doing in here. As for the select the spells that you have right here, I like to take this one just because to take use, this is a new specific spell designed specifically for this class. But also a witch would have a familiar, a cat, so that's something very witchy. Or also you could speak with animals, which is something that you could also do as a witch. Now, this is very important. At level 3, you are going to choose darkness. It is going to be kind of wobbly how it's going to work our darkness. I'll explain to you right now. Essentially, we're going to be casting our darkness. We're not going to be able to use it until level 6, but the darkness is going to be the means of defending ourselves. You cannot cast spells from inside towards outside of the darkness, nor can spells come from outside to inside of the darkness. But also this means that melee characters have nothing to do against you on the darkness. So this is your main means of damage. This is your protection. To cast spells, you're going to haste your character. You need to have lots of mobility to go outside from the darkness, cast a spell, deal your damage, and then immediately come back to your darkness, because your darkness is going to be your way of sustaining your survivability. If you don't have a properly built character, you don't have, like for example, Warcaster, you don't have enough constitution, you're not managing your armor class with your shield and your mage armor, this is what's going to happen to you, and that's going to be a bummer. You do not want for that to happen. Other than that, as you level up, I know that I'm going to be running through from most of the levels. Like I always say, I do not want to waste your time trying to explain to you things that we're not going to be using in the end. So just have in mind that since we're going to be using darkness 100% of the time, make sure that any spell that you're going to be taking, that you're going to be using for your main purposes, do not have the label for concentration, because you cannot concentrate on darkness and also on a different spell. So this right here, we're not going to be using it. We're not going to be using like this one either. So you can take the witch form, you can take the mirror image. This is very good specifically because of our darkness, and we can melee quite a lot of with this one. So yes, this is nice. I think that I like to take this one right here. Like I mentioned, it's very important that at level 4 you take the Warcaster, because if by some reason of the universe the damage manages to do damage to you, which they try to do by throwing projectiles at you instead of the darkness, it is very important for you to have quite a bit of concentration and quite a bit of your Warcaster, so that you can sustain that spell right there. Now at level 6, this is very important, because this is when our character is going to be finally established. At level 6 you get a class passive, which is going to be the Kismet's Eye. This allows you to see through magical darkness. Like always, I do have to explain this because there's always people that confuse the types of darkness that you can use. As you can see, we are an elf, and the elves, they actually have dark vision. You cannot see through magical darkness with dark vision. You need devil sight, or for example, on this case scenario, we have the Kismet's Eye that allows you to see through magical darkness. This is nerfed. It wasn't like this before. When the game launched, you were able to throw spells from inside, outside, from darkness if you had Devil's Sight. That has been patched, but still we can take advantage of on how overpowered darkness is by casting out a spell and then going back inside the darkness, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and that's going to be the gist of everything. On my class passives as well, you have quite a bit of things in here. I like to take the expanded witchcraft just because. Then at level 8 we get access to a one more class passive. This would be very powerful, for example the magical ambush, if we would be able to deal damage to the enemy from inside, from towards outside of darkness. Like I mentioned, that's not possible anymore, so we're going to be taking Grim Harvest. And then take an ability improvement to increase your intelligence to 18. Then you can also take the, at level 9, the Witchcraft, the Enhanced Body. You can also take this one, I believe, before you take the Expanded Witchcraft, but if that's not the case, just take it in here. This is going to allow you to haste your character without having to break concentration with your darkness, which is very powerful. At level 11, you get the Witchcraft Mastery to increase our Witchcraft points. At level 12, we get one of the most powerful things, which is going to make us even more tankier when we are hidden in our darkness, the Living Shadow. While you are lightly or heavily obscured, which you're always going to be because of the darkness spell, our character has resistance to all damage, except for psychic or radiant damage. And then you're going to take an ability improvement to increase your intelligence to 20. The itemization is very simple. I'm just going to give you the must-have right here, right now. However, you can change things, and I'm also going to leave you a link in the description, the items that I recommend for you to have. One of them that you can get very early on, it's the Cold Brim hats. Anytime that you afflict a condition on the enemy, which is you're going to be doing quite a lot because of your elemental thing, you also are going to make them be encrusted with frost. And then we have the Gloves of Dexterity, like we previously mentioned. It's very important for you to have the Gloves of Dexterity. We're not using the spell Might Gloves or things like that because we don't have medium armor, and we do need that extra 4+4 armor class if we're going to be Babel and if we're going to be sustaining on concentration. Once you get access to the Helltask Boots, these things are a game changer because they allow you to move throughout the cold surfaces that you're going to be making throughout the battlefields. And then also the Crusher's Ring. This is virtually the first ring that you'll ever get on the game, and it's very important that you have this thing right here because we need movement speed. We need to be able to move throughout the battlefield, not necessarily throughout the battlefield, but we need to get outside to cast the spells, outside from the darkness, and then inside back again so that we can shield from the enemy attacks. Then we have this Snowburst Ring, which is just an extra little something that I thought it was nice to have, but also one of the must ones that you're going to have, it's going to be the Amulet of Greater Health. And so the gist of everything is that you're going to, at the start of each turn, you're going to cast Darkness. Now, you're going to remain inside that darkness. Like I mentioned, you're not going to be able to throw spells from outside, from inside towards outside from the darkness. Neither can spells come from inside towards from outside towards the inside. So the gist of everything in here is that you're going to be coming out from your darkness, and then you're going to cast your spells. And remember that I told you that you didn't really need to care about the spells that you would be getting, that you would be choosing as you would be leveling up, because all of your offensive spells that you're going to be using, all of the offensive spells that you see me using in here, they come natively as a base choice. You cannot change them, you cannot alter them, you're still going to get them as you level up, yes or yes, and they cannot be upcasted. So you're going to have either your level 1 spell slots, your level 2 spell slots, your level 3 spell slots. Most of them you're not going to be able to upcast them, so you're going to be using them on determined situations whenever you want to deal damage to this or that. And you also have native cold resistance because of your base class, so anytime that you find an enemy that's resistant to frost damage, they really are not resistant to frost damage anymore because of the trait that this character has. And essentially, that's everything. You go outside from the darkness, and then you freeze the hell out of everything, and then you come back inside, you become invulnerable again, you become immortal again, and then you rinse and repeat, and it's easy mode. It's very powerful. Anyways, if you like the content, like and never stop appreciate it, nostalgia that you're a gorgeous and beautiful person, you're indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, have a beautiful day, and goodbye.